Struggling to focus in a world full of distractions? Imagine doubling your focus without relying on willpower or motivation. Today you'll learn 7 truths that can rebuild your discipline and sharpen your mind like a weapon. Principles the Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca mastered centuries ago. Watch closely, because these aren't just ideas, they're the tools that turn a distracted mind into an unshakable force. Truth number 1. Focus is energy management, not time management. We live in a period where people are fascinated with time, with calendars, planners, and timetables. But the Stoics realized something deeper. Time is nothing if you're tired. Seneca once said, "We don't have a short time to live. We waste a lot of it. You don't need more time. You need more vitality in the time you already have." It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. No amount of time management will help you. If you wake up exhausted, distracted, or emotionally depleted, take care of your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Eat light, get enough sleep, cut back on stimulants, and get rid of the people and habits that drain your energy. When your mind is charged, it sharpens your focus like a knife. The Stoics believed that balance is what gives you strength. Thus they practiced moderation in everything. A life that is well protected leads to a concentrated mind. The Stoics thought of energy as something sacred, not in a mystical way, but as the pure fuel that propels reason, virtue, and understanding. Even wisdom is useless without energy. Marcus Aurelius said, "The quality of your thoughts determines how happy you are, but the quality of your thoughts depends on how you feel, and how you feel depends on how you use your energy." When your body is heavy and your head is full, it seems like you can't do anything. You sit down to work, but you lose focus in a matter of minutes. You scroll, you drift, and you put things off. Not because you're lazy, but because you're tired. The Stoics would say that this is a failure of government. You let the body control the thoughts instead of the other way around. Epictetus said that the first step to mastery is being able to control your impulses, both emotional and physical. The food you consume, the way you sleep, and what you let into your senses all affect whether your mind helps you or hurts you. He stated, "A man is not free if he is not in charge of himself. You have to be in charge of your energy before you can be in charge of your focus. Every choice you make either gives you energy or takes it away. You give away your vitality before you even start your day by checking your phone and delving into noise. But if you start with stillness, intentional movement, and clarity, your energy stays focused. It cuts through distractions like a beam of light." Seneca thought that too much of anything diminishes the soul. Eating too much dulls the senses. Talking too much wastes the spirit. Too much fun makes you lose your discipline. He stated, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." When you do a lot of pointless things, you lose your ability to focus on what's important. So the first step to doubling your focus isn't to add more hours, it's to get rid of what takes them away. Like a philosopher, look at your life and see what behaviors drain your energy, but don't give you anything in return. Who makes you feel empty in your head after every talk? What routines make you tired instead of giving you energy? Get rid of them. Make it easier. Take back the hours that slip away because of tiredness and turmoil. A Stoic would tell you to live in harmony with nature, and nature has a rhythm. There is a time to work hard and a time to relax. When you have energy, push. Get better when you don't. Don't confuse being motionless with being lazy. It's the key to being strong. When you see rest as fuel instead of a sign of weakness, you can keep being productive. In today's culture, being busy is seen as a good thing, but being busy without enthusiasm is just moving around without a purpose. To really focus, you need to be full of life and energy all the time. When your energy is stable, it's easy to be disciplined. You don't have to try to focus. It will happen on its own, like fire from dry wood. This is what the Stoics were good at, keeping things inside. They lived simply, ate small meals, slept with a purpose, and talked less. They knew that to have a clear mind, you need to live a pure life. And when your energy is in line with your goal, you stop trying to catch up with time. Time starts to work for you. Living a focused life doesn't mean doing more. It's about doing what matters and putting all your energy into it. And that starts when you start to manage your energy like a Stoic, on purpose, sensibly, and without wasting it. Truth number 2. Your environment is your silent saboteur. You can't train your mind to be disciplined in a messy place. Marcus Aurelius, too, wanted to be alone to think properly in the noise of Rome. In Meditations, he said, "There is no place for a man to find a quieter or more peaceful retreat than in his own soul. But the first step in that retreat is to look around you. Your surroundings are either helping you focus or hurting it. If your room is messy, your phone keeps buzzing, or there are too many things to do in your room, you're setting yourself up to lose." The Stoics believed in keeping things simple, since the mind reflects what it sees. Make your space clean. Turn off notifications. Make your space like a temple so you can focus. Taking away something makes it one fewer thing that stands in the way of your goals. Discipline isn't only about what you do, it's also about what you let happen around you. Your surroundings are the unseen force that changes your mentality without your permission. You could think you have the resolve to stay focused, but your environment is always changing how you act. Epictetus stated, "If you want to get better, you have to be okay with looking foolish and stupid when it comes to things outside of yourself." He meant that to really focus, you frequently had to get away from the things that the world loves. Such loudness, too much, and too much stimulus. Take a look around. The mess on your desk, the open tabs on your computer, and the continuous notifications all tell your brain to split your attention. The Stoics knew that paying attention is what makes life worth living. Whatever you pay attention to is what you are. And when things are chaotic around you, your mind is too. Seneca cautioned against the fickleness of the mind, the propensity to oscillate between pursuits, perpetually eluding tranquility. He said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." Your surroundings affect how long your mind can stay focused on one thing before it gets distracted and moves on to the next. Marcus Aurelius lived in a palace full of politics, commotion, and stress, but he found ways to be calm among it. He made things simple, even when they were fancy. He would go to his mental stronghold, his inner citadel, to get some clarity. You have to do the same thing. Being simple doesn't mean living in a void. It means making room for depth. Get rid of the things you don't need in your home first. The objects around you aren't neutral. They either help you or get in your way. Everything, including sounds, digital alerts, and things, should have a purpose in your life. The Stoics had very few things, not because they were poor, but because they valued serenity more than things. The same idea works online. Your phone, social media, and feeds are all modern-day saboteurs. You can't expect to have a strong, calm mind while you're constantly being inundated with noise that tries to get your attention. Get rid of what doesn't help you. Turn off anything that bothers you. Take care of your peace like a philosopher takes care of his virtue. Epictetus told his students to only be around people who make you better. Your surroundings are included in that. If your surroundings make you lazy, negative, or distracted, they are not your comfort. They are your adversaries. Spend time in settings that help you concentrate, such quiet corners, libraries, and nature. Don't surround yourself with things that excite you. Surround yourself with things that are simple. The truth is that the environment shapes who you are. Your actions will start to follow your discipline when your space shows it. Your ideas become more organized when your home is peaceful. When your desk is tidy, your thoughts become clearer. The Stoics realized that virtue wasn't just something you thought about. It was something you made. And simple doesn't mean empty. It means clear. It's getting rid of things that don't matter, so that things that do can breathe. Make a space that shows who you want to be, not who you want to get away from. Marcus Aurelius didn't merely rule an empire. He also ruled his own psyche, and he could only accomplish it because he made sense of a world that was full of noise. You need to do the same thing if you want to get your attention and discipline back. Stop the noise. Make your surroundings less busy. Create a space that doesn't fight for your attention, but makes it better. Your environment can either be your weapon or your vulnerability, and the choice between the two starts with what you let into your life. Truth number 3, your mind becomes what you feed it. Epictetus said, the color of your thoughts changes your soul. You become what you feed your mind. But most people fill theirs with junk, noise from social media, bad news, and endless petty information that dulls their minds. If you keep eating distractions, you teach your mind to be distracted. But if you give it philosophy, logic, and truth, it will become clearer. Read a lot, but not too much. Read the writings of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, or Epictetus. Not to memorize quotes, but to change how you think. Stop scrolling and start studying. Think instead of gossiping. Stop watching TV and start learning on your own. Everything you read or watch is a vote for the person you become. The Stoics protected their brains like soldiers protect their weapons because they realized that a weak mind is easy to beat. Your mind is not a set thing. It is a living thing that changes based on what it eats. The mind becomes what it takes in again and over again, just like the body becomes what it eats. Marcus Aurelius said, "Your habitual thoughts will shape your mind. The soul is colored by the thoughts. Everything you read, hear, or see leaves a stamp on your mind." But a lot of people don't take this authority seriously. They let garbage information in every day, not realizing that every pointless video, every nasty message, and every shallow diversion slowly makes it harder for them to think profoundly. A person who fills his mind with noise becomes noise. A man who eats wisdom becomes wise. The Stoics thought of their thoughts as holy places. Epictetus taught his students to guard their attention like a soldier guards his station. He stated, "You become what you focus on." And this isn't a metaphor. It's real. The more you deal with turmoil, the more chaotic your ideas get. The more you practice virtue, the more your mind becomes quiet and disciplined. Seneca said not to eat too much shallow knowledge. He stated, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." He said that looking for unlimited amusement is like eating from every dish at a feast. You leave replete, but not nourished. Depth, not diversity, is what makes real concentration. It's better to read one deep passage, think about it carefully, and use it than to spend hours mindlessly scrolling. To double your focus, you must first clean out what comes into your head. Before you eat or drink anything, ask yourself, will this make me stronger or weaker? Will it make things clearer or more confusing? Every idea you accept is a seed. Those seeds turn into habits, actions, and who you are over time. The Stoics didn't spend their lives looking for excitement. They wanted peace and quiet so they could see the reality. Marcus Aurelius read philosophy not to have fun, but to change his life. His meditations were personal reminders to keep his mind in check, to focus on reason, to ignore vanity, and to live by principle. In contrast, in modern life, attention is like money. Companies, influencers, and apps don't want your money. They want your mind. They overload your senses, keep you hooked, and term it connection. The Stoic way requires the opposite, cutting ties with the meaningless so you can reconnect with what matters. Like a philosopher, feed your mind. Put excellent works, silence, and questions that make you think about yourself and improve your spirit in it. Study not to seem smart, but to actually get smart. Musonius Rufus, Epictetus' instructor, observed, "If you do something good with hard work, the work goes by quickly, but the good lasts." The same goes for your learning. It may seem hard to feed your mind well, but the benefits last a lifetime. When you consciously choose what you think about, clarity comes effortlessly. You don't react to noise anymore because you don't eat it anymore. You stop being jealous of other people when you stop thinking about them and start thinking about yourself. You quit gossiping because your brain needs healthier fuel. Keep in mind that your focus doesn't go away. It gets stolen by what you give it. Take care of your attention like a Stoic would take care of his virtue. Read things that make you smarter. Listen to things that calm you down. Pay attention to what makes you more disciplined. Your thoughts will eventually shape your future. Your life gets sharper the more you sharpen your mind. Truth number 4. Self-discipline is built in small moments. Discipline isn't developed in one brave act. It's built in the thousands of little times you do what you said you would, even when you don't want to. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity. He is not allowed to show what he can do." Discipline is proof that you can control yourself, even when the world tries to get you to give in. It's not about being perfect. It's about not giving up. Discipline is growing when you get up on time instead of pressing snooze. Discipline gets stronger when you finish your work before treating yourself. These little victories help you and your mind trust each other. And if your mind trusts you, it's easy to stay focused. When you choose consistency above comfort, you teach your brain to follow your higher purpose. This becomes intuitive with time, like a muscle that never fails. Every time you show self-control, you show strength. It's not made in times of excitement or inspiration. It's made in the quiet hours when you choose to keep your commitment. No one understood this better than the Stoics. They thought that brilliance wasn't something you could get. It was something you got by doing it every day. Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, because he isn't allowed to show what he can do." That hardship he talked about isn't always big or public. Sometimes it's the subtle struggle between what makes you feel good now and what you could be in the future. It's hard to get up when your body wants to sleep, stay focused when your mind wants to wander, or finish the job when quitting seems easier. Every time you win that little battle, you make your character stronger. Think about it. Discipline doesn't come from big wins. It's made up of small choices, like picking the book over the phone, the water over the cola, and the purpose over the distraction. These events may seem small, yet they all come together to shape the way your mind works. They create consistency, which is the factor that keeps dreamers from becoming achievers. Marcus Aurelius worked hard to live by this principle. Even when he was the emperor of Rome, he never changed his ways. He wrote in a notebook every day to think about his ideas and choices and stay in the present. He realized that attention wasn't a gift. It was something he learned to do again and over again. His steadiness wasn't flashy, but it was strong. Every entry and every thought was a modest practice of discipline. Epictetus, who was born a slave, also taught that discipline is the same as freedom. He answered, "No big thing happens all at once." He was saying that the truth is that strength doesn't come all at once. It grows over time with hard work. You are strengthening your control over yourself every time you do the right thing, even when you don't want to. Instead of following your impulses, you're instructing your mind to follow your orders. In today's world, it's easy to give up emphasis for comfort. Notifications, distractions, and dopamine rushes that never stop draw your attention in a million different places. But the Stoic way is different. It's the choice to do what needs to be done, even when it's hard. It's the habit of putting long-term peace ahead of short-term pleasure. Think of your discipline as a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. Every little win, like getting up early, remaining on track with your goals, and regulating your reactions, makes that muscle stronger. And soon, what used to take a lot of willpower becomes second nature. You don't have to battle to stay focused anymore. You just are. Seneca also said, "Challenges make the mind stronger, just like work makes the body stronger." Those difficulties aren't punishments. They're the places where you learn how to be a better person. Every problem is a chance to improve your focus and get back on track with your discipline. So don't think that minor moments don't matter. You establish a quiet power that grows every day when you choose discipline over ease and consistency over turmoil. You start to trust your mind. You feel more sure of yourself. And with that trust, you can focus your mind on anything you want. The Stoics lived by this secret. You don't become great by doing one wonderful thing. It comes from doing thousands of small things that show you can manage yourself over and over again. This is because real discipline isn't about control. It's about freedom. The ability to select your own path, control your thoughts, and stay focused no matter what life throws at you. Truth number 5. Silence is the weapon of a focused mind. Noise kills focus. The Stoics wanted silence not to go away from life, but to learn how to deal with it. When you're quiet, your thoughts show their actual shape. You start to recognize what's true, what's noise, and what needs to go. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal in the early morning hours, not for anybody else but for himself. That regular introspection was how he cleared his mind. Silence lets you ponder, make plans, and get your mind back in order. Begin your day in peace. Be quiet in the end of the day. Stop the music, get away from the hubbub, and just sit. The universe begs for your attention, but you take it back in silence. Silence isn't empty. It's strength held back. It is the hidden forge where strength, discipline, and clarity are made. When everyone is addicted to noise, being quiet is an act of defiance. Every beep, buzz, and notification is a thief that takes bits of your attention until your mind is full and restless. The Stoics really got this. They cultivated silence not because they didn't like the world, but because they sought to control their own thoughts amid it. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most troubled men in history, commanded an empire that was always in upheaval. However, he often went into silence. He remarked in Meditations, "There is no place where a man can find a quieter or less troubled retreat than in his own soul." His times alone were not escapes. They were times to get back on track. Silence kept him away from noise, which let him observe things as they were without emotion or ego. That's why he wrote in his journal every morning. Not for anyone else, but to clear his mind, get his values back in line, and get his mind ready for the day. Seneca also thought that stillness was a way to get better at something. He once said, We suffer more in our minds than in real life. He realized that most of the pain in his mind stemmed from the incessant noise in his head, including anxieties, judgments, and fights that never end. Silence shows such lies for what they are. It helps you tell the difference between what is real and what is not. Your mind stops reacting and starts observing. When you sit still and don't do anything, you start to see what really matters. Epictetus referred to this inner serenity as ataraxia, a condition of unwavering peace. He said that a smart person stays calm not because life is simple, but because he knows how to quiet the noise inside. He stated, "If you want to get better, be okay with being called dumb and foolish. So step back from the craziness of needing other people to approve of you. The more you talk, the more the world draws you away. But when you are quiet, you look inside yourself, and that's where mastery starts." It's hard to find silence in modern life. We load every space with stimulus, including music, scrolling, and pointless talks. But silence isn't the same as not hearing anything. It's the same as not being distracted. It's the discipline of being fully present and not having to respond. You teach your mind to lead, not follow, when you start your day in solitude. Ending your day in stillness clears your mind of unneeded thoughts. This rhythm, being motionless in the morning and thinking in the evening, makes up the basis of mental order. Seneca said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." Noise makes you feel like you're everywhere at once, always being tugged in different directions and never getting your feet on the ground. Silence keeps you grounded. It slows down the storm. It lets you hear your own thoughts again. And in that quiet, choices become plain. It's easy to focus. The Stoics thought that quiet is a kind of power. It's the power to hold back, not give in to every impulse, and save energy for what really matters. When you stop paying attention to noise, you start paying attention to truth. Every second of silence makes you better at controlling your feelings, your focus, and your life. So make it a habit to be quiet every day. Get away from your phone. Turn off the things that are going on in the background. Even if your thoughts are uncomfortable, sit with them. That ache is the sound of your thoughts getting back in line. The world is trying to get your attention. But you take back your power when you are quiet. You become dangerous, not because you talk louder than others, but because your mind is calm, acute, and steady. That is the weapon of a concentrated mind, quiet, intentional silence in a world that won't stop talking. Truth number 6. Focus requires emotional detachment. The instant you let emotions control you, focus dies. Anger, envy, and anxiety take your focus away and waste your energy. The Stoics learned how to keep their feelings apart from their actions. Epictetus said, "What happens to you doesn't matter. How you react to it does." You give up your attention every time you lose your temper or get impatient. Discipline implies paying attention to your feelings without acting on them. Stop when someone hurts your feelings. Take a breath when anything distracts you. When fear comes over you, think about it. The calm guy wins because he sees things as they are, not as his feelings make them seem. Emotional control is the same as mental control, and mental control is the same as attention. To be truly unshakable, train your emotions like you train your body, on purpose and on a regular basis. Emotions are strong forces that can be used for good or bad. The Stoics knew that the mind becomes less clear, not because of outside disorder, but because of chaos inside. When you let your feelings control your thoughts, you lose your focus. Your eyesight becomes blurry, and you can't see what's really important, just like a glass of water being churned by a storm. Epictetus, who was once a slave and went through terrible things, said that our freedom comes from how we see things. It's not what happens to you that matters. It's how you react to it. Those phrases aren't philosophy. They're how to stay alive. Your energy breaks apart when you feel angry, scared, or jealous. Every emotion you chase or fight for takes your focus away from other things, which makes you tired and distracted. The Stoics learned to deal with these storms by being calm and not trying to hide them. Marcus Aurelius said, "If something outside of you is bothering you, the pain is not because of that thing, but because of how you see it." He was telling himself that the world can't really bother us unless we let it. Think of every annoyance, insult, or letdown as a test of your strength. You can either act like a slave to your feelings or like a commander of your own thoughts. You save your most valuable resource, your attention, when you control how you react. Seneca went much further. He responded, "The brave are free." In the Stoic view, freedom isn't the lack of pain. It's the lack of being controlled by emotions. If you become upset every time someone disagrees with you, If worry governs your mornings, or if envy tells you how much you are worth, then your feelings are in charge. And as long as that's the case, you won't be able to focus. Think of emotions like the weather. They will always change, but your mind is the only thing that stays. The Stoics taught that you should look at your emotions like clouds, recognize them, analyze them, but never let them take over. Stop when anything makes you angry. Don't act, think. Ask yourself, can I control this? If not, let it go. That 1 minute of stillness sets apart the strong from the weak and the disciplined from the distracted. Epictetus said that peace of mind is the strongest type of power. That doesn't imply not caring. It means being exact. The calm man doesn't hold back his feelings. He lets them out. He feels a lot, but he makes decisions based on logic. He shows his weaknesses when he gets angry. When fear arises, he investigates its origin. This ongoing self-examination is the process via which emotional detachment transforms into knowledge. The world we live in now fosters anger and acting on impulse. Every platform thrives on emotional reaction. It feeds on your wrath, fear, and jealousy. But the Stoic doesn't fall for this. The more the world tries to get him angry, the more calm he becomes, because he knows that the calm guy wins by staying focused, not by using force. Marcus Aurelius called this discipline apatheia, which means not having emotions, but being free from their control. The clarity of your mind lets you act with reason, even while your heart is racing. When your feelings don't control your attention anymore, you can focus like a laser. You move with purpose, think clearly, and act without hesitation. And here's the truth. Being emotionally detached isn't being cold. It's being strong and at ease. It's the skill of staying human without letting the mess of humanity take over your life. The Stoics were able to find this balance, and so can you. So when someone calls you names, stop and look. When something goes wrong, take a deep breath and think about it. When fear tells you that you can't, grin and show it wrong. Every time you control your emotions, you add another layer to your mental armor until nothing outside of you can break your focus. In the end, true power doesn't come from having a lot of money or being in charge. It comes from being able to be calm when the world is out of balance. Being emotionally detached doesn't mean withdrawing from life. It means rising above its noise. And that's where unshakable focus lies. Truth number 7. Purpose is the fuel of focus. The Stoics lived by reason and a sense of purpose. Marcus Aurelius said, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his goals. The mind wanders when it has no aim." It makes it easy to focus. Distraction becomes your default if you don't know what you're striving toward. Purpose is like a compass. It points your energy in one direction. It gives your focus a purpose. Think about why you're doing this. When you know why you're doing something, your discipline follows suit. You don't need motivation anymore, since your objective drives you. Purpose is the best way to keep from becoming sidetracked. It transforms work into satisfaction and concentration into strength. A man who knows what he wants to do can't be influenced, since he already knows where he's heading. Purpose is the fire that keeps a man going when everything else tries to stop him. It's not about motivation, it's about direction. When things get tough, motivation goes away, but purpose stays strong despite pain, chaos, and boredom. The Stoics knew that even a disciplined person would break apart if they didn't have a goal. Marcus Aurelius, who had a lot of responsibilities as the ruler of an empire, wrote to himself, "Stop wandering about. You probably won't read your own notes, the records of the ancient Greeks and Romans, or the quotes you've been saving for when you're older. Get to your own ruling reason, to the truth inside." He was reminded himself to stay grounded in his objective and not get lost in things that don't matter. Discipline has meaning when it has a purpose. Without it, your attention becomes stiff, weak, and easy to shatter. But when your actions are part of a bigger purpose, every moment of pain becomes holy. Every sacrifice, every time you do something again, and every minute of stillness has a purpose. That's what turns regular work into amazing endurance. Epictetus said that people need to know what their place is in the big picture of the universe. He replied, "Remember that you are an actor in a play, and the playwright chooses the role you play. You don't have to compose the script. You just have to do your part well." That's purpose, not going after pleasure or achievement just for the sake of it, but knowing that something bigger than your wants is guiding your actions. When you live this manner, it's easy to stay focused. It follows naturally from knowing who you are and why you do what you do. Seneca said the same thing when he stated, "He who does not know to what port he is sailing, no wind is favorable." Most people's lives are sad because they drift. They go for every new chance and every new distraction without thinking about where it will all lead. But the Stoic lives like a man on a mission. He doesn't squander anything, time, attention, or energy, because he is focused on his inner goal. One question runs through every choice and every action. Does this help me reach my goal? Just that question can help you focus again. Distractions lose their power as soon as you stop living reactively and start living on purpose. The phone, the noise, and the gossip all melt away when you think about your why. A sense of purpose may make regular people unstoppable. It's why some people can get up at 5 a.m. without complaining, work out when they're weary, work without getting praise, and stay cool when things go wrong. They are not running away from anything. They are heading towards something. Marcus Aurelius was more than just the emperor of Rome. He was so dedicated to his mission that it shaped everything he did. He didn't want power. He wanted to do the right thing. He thought that the only real work a man has is to live by his principles and act like a logical person. That clarity is what kept him focused, even when wars were going on and people were betraying him. So every day ask yourself, why am I doing this? What am I making? What am I giving? It doesn't have to be a big deal to answer. It just has to be true. You might want to master your craft, keep your family safe, find inner peace, or set an example for others. No matter what it is, keep it close. Put it down on paper. Say it to yourself in your head every morning. Your focus will automatically follow once your why is set in stone. You won't have to chase after short bursts of motivation anymore. Something bigger will pull you ahead. Purpose changes focus from a job to a calling. It gives every deed and every moment purpose. Seneca reportedly remarked, "Life without a goal is wandering." The Stoics didn't wander. They walked straight even through fire. That's what gave them power. And that's what can make you unstoppable. When you know what you want to do, discipline doesn't feel like work. It turns into devotion. Concentration turns into tranquility. And no matter how crazy things get around you, you'll stay centered because a guy with a goal doesn't need to look for direction. He is in charge. Focus isn't a gift. It's something you have to work on. It is made by energy, the atmosphere, silence, and a goal. These 7 Stoic truths are not just ideas. They are rules that have always been true for anyone who wants to be great. Take care of your energies. Make your surroundings simpler. Fill your head with truth. Develop tiny habits of consistency. Enjoy stillness. Learn to control your emotions. And live with purpose. If you do this, your emphasis will change, not just get better. Marcus Aurelius said, "Stop wasting time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The same goes for focus. Stop hoping for clarity, make it. Stop looking for motivation. Develop discipline. Because the person who controls their thinking controls their environment.